What's going on, everybody? It is a Friday afternoon lunch hour episode of the Clydesdale Lunch with the Clydesdale. Yeah, that's me. Um, Man, what a slow CrossFit news week. It has been. We had mayhem, and then we kind of got all that out of the way, and then it's just kind of been waiting for the next shoe to drop. And there's no other in-person qualifying event until next weekend in Copasur. So just kind of going through what we can here. So um, what I wanted to talk about a little bit today is I got a couple comments yesterday, a couple texts. I talked a little bit about the dress code policy that we have for my job, even though we work from home. And I used a term head to toe, and that's really my term. It's not in the policy. But when you read the teleworking policy, it says you must adhere to the full dress code of the agency that we work for. And then when you go to the agency dress code policy, it says that you must wear a collared shirt, dress slacks, dress pants. You must wear dress shoes, and then it has like things that it forbids. And one thing that captured the attention of a couple people I talked to yesterday was it actually forbids any color of hair not in a natural sense. And then it says, for example, green, blue, pink, because people are not born with those colors of hair. Those are forbidden as part of the dress code, which is just insane to me. Are we really still in 1955? But anyway, I just wanted to clear that up, that the head to toe comment was actually my way of expressing that even though only my upper torso is showing, just like it is on this show right now, when I'm in a work meeting, only that much of me shows. So even though that's all, I still am required by the policy to wear dress pants and dress shoes and a collared shirt. What I do is I actually have an oversized pair of pants, an oversized, I have 5 collared shirts in the closet that's right behind me where I work from. And when it's time for a meeting, I just throw the pants over top what I'm wearing. I throw the collared shirt over top of my shirt that I'm wearing. And so I appear in the meeting in full dress code, what is required of me, so that I am in compliance, just in case one day, if they said to me, hey, stand up, we want to see your lower torso to make sure you're in dress code compliance, I would be able to do so. But it's really, and there's a whole thing, and I was talking to Lex by text yesterday, where it talks about that your grooming must be in order. And it's really like loose, where the executives can really just attack whoever they want to attack, because the grooming bit is, man, if you have a bad day, or your hair's just not going right, and someone wanted to pick on you, they could say you're not groomed well. It's just insane and archaic, and I can't believe we're still in this era. So, but anyway, yeah, it's what I deal with, but it's my job. I try to do it to the best of my ability. I'm going to be back in an office by the end of the year anyway, and then I'll have to be in full dress code anyway. So, Lynn says hair, that's me out with my purple hair. Yeah, it is the uproar that came from that. That's not even a newer policy that came out before we left the office, and it got fought big time because, depending on cultures, like the hair colors it just looked at differently, and it was fought big time. back then, but they lost somehow, and I don't know how. Um, but yeah, purple hair would not be allowed, Lynn. But what's weird is like they allow red, even if it is not like a natural what a redhead would wear, because to be able to come down to where is the line of where it's natural and unnatural is too hard to come by. So they allow all reds, but they don't allow blue, they don't allow green, they don't allow purple, pink, any of those. It's pretty crazy. And there was even arguments that some of the older women say their hair is naturally blue, um, but that failed as well. So, uh, uh, Train to Live says you're basically Superman. I am. I change in and change out of clothes constantly throughout the day. Now, if I have back to back meetings, I just leave them on. But like, I don't want to wear dress clothes down here to do this. Do surprise meetings count? Like when someone calls you randomly to get clarification on something? They do. But I'm pretty fast and I have everything sitting beside me for the day, so I can get in and out of clothes quickly. Corey says, dude, asking you to stand up to check to see if you're in compliance for a job where you're working from home is some 1984 shit. It is. It's crazy. And Lynn says, I guess she's going ginger. Yep. It's so stupid. It's funny. Like I've always wanted to do like the faux hawk in like a blue tip thing. But I've never been able to do it because my job pays my bills. So, and Jeff J. Birch is saying he's singing the song Express Yourself. Not with the state of Ohio. You are not allowed to do that. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of wrap a bow around that because we talked about it yesterday, and I did get a lot of comments and people texting me, asking me clarifying questions. And so just to clarify, that's where we're at. And man, with my allergy, some days I have like a really bad day and my eyes are puffy, things like that. And to like be on camera, because you have to be on camera for everything now. And it's really hard, but I guess I'd have to do that going into the office. And I think that's where like the working from home is crazy, because if I'm sick or I have a really bad allergy day or things are puffy or whatever, like I'll just work through it because I'm working from home. But if I have to go into the office, man, I'm probably calling off sick, and then you're not even getting me for those 8 hours in the day. I don't understand the obsession with bringing everybody back to work. For some people who don't work with the public or don't do things like that, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then in our city, because it was announced, and we're the capital city of Ohio, that everybody has to return to work, the real estate companies are now charging 4 times the rent on the buildings, because the state is trying to find places to put people and pick up leases again. But the building I was in before I left, they went back to try to get it, and the rent price on it is 4 times what it was when we left. So they're being gouged now for that, and they're going to pay 4 times as much to get people back to work as they would be to work from home. And I've said this a million times. I test things in our system, and I test them for what the customer would see. The customer is not inside our firewall, so I get actually better results on my testing by working from home and working outside the firewall to test what I'm doing. And then it's just me going into a system and trying to break it and doing things like that. I get way more done when I'm here at home because nobody is interrupting me. I can just put my head down and go through the whole test. I don't have to worry about someone coming up to my desk and asking for anything or whatnot. So it doesn't make sense to me, but I'm just tired of fighting it. It's an inevitability, and we're gonna be back soon. Jason Bourne, the government is back asswards. It is so that much. It is so that. Jay Birch says, do you have a Republican governor or legislature? We do. No TPS reports. I've worked under both Democrat and Republican governors in my time here, and it all seems the same when you're inside of it all. They all have their agendas. They all, I don't know. It just is. It's bizarre. But right now we have Governor DeWine, and I was born and raised a Republican, but I'm not a fan of Governor DeWine and the actions that he's taken. So I don't know. I really don't like any politicians at this point after working for both sides. I've not seen anything from any of them that have, I shouldn't say I haven't seen anything. They all come with their faults, and working for both sides, I've had trouble with both. So I don't really lean one way or another anymore. I just don't like, I don't like politics anymore after working for the state. I'm just over it. ACRS, what's for lunch? That I have to determine. My wife is actually leaving after work today to go back to Pittsburgh to help my daughter pack, as we are moving her to Montana in less than 2 weeks now, which is totally blowing my mind. Can you believe Easter is like next weekend? Like, where has time gone? I can't even. Man. So in a little over a week, I'm going to be packing up a U-Haul, driving across the country to Montana with my daughter, unpacking her in a new apartment there with her 2 dogs, and then flying back to Columbus after that. And it's going to be a crazy, crazy trip. Corey Leonard's birthday is in 6 days, just in case everybody needs some time to buy a gift. You have 6 days left. So we're going from Columbus up to Chicago, up to Madison, up to Minneapolis, and then across like Fargo, Bismarck, all the way to Great Falls. And with that, we're going to pass the Badlands. We're going to pass Mount Rushmore. We're going to stop at those places. The Badlands, the more I look into it, the more I am really psyched to go see that. So I'm really pumped for that. As well as, even though Jay Birch has poo-pooed my visit to Mount Rushmore, I'm still looking forward to it. Just to kind of see it and move on. But it's going to be fun. And then my daughter will start her new life as a professional photographer with a company, doing their catalog and their social media and their websites, and all the apparel that they sell. So that's going to be awesome for her, and I can't wait for that to happen for her. One bit of news that came out today, and I don't even know if it's that newsworthy, is the WFP has announced who is going to be in Indianapolis in the pro qualifier, or the pro division, out of the qualifier. And so this is the list of athletes that qualified. My biggest question about this list, and it doesn't say it in the comments or in the narrative, is, did these people accept their invitation to Indianapolis, or are they just the qualifiers? Because I think on the men's side, it is the top 10 people in the qualifier, from 1 to 10, all of them. And so I'm wondering if they all accepted. And then on the women's side, it's 1 to 11. There may be one change, because I thought Var Thurman Moe was the last qualifier, but maybe I was only counting to 10. And then Oda Lundikvam is also in there at number 11. So I'm just curious because it doesn't say that they've accepted. It just says that these are the people that qualified, because I know they do backfill these positions. And if it's just qualified, we knew this when they locked the leaderboard like a week ago. So I don't know why it's newsworthy unless they've accepted. Yeah. So Oda's because Jamie Green couldn't make it. That is, or Jamie Simmons. I call her Jamie Green too, Lynn. Man, it's hard. So yeah, I guess this is people who have accepted because Jamie did not accept, and so we do have a little bit of a different list on the women's side. Yeah, I agree with you, Lynn. I think it's accepted because others qualified but couldn't travel. Yeah, so this is the lineup that's going to be added to the signed athletes. And everybody's going to, I mean, everybody knew Colton was going after it. Anola Kai, Nate Ackerman, Tola Morakinyo, Tanner Belaz, Danny Camacho, Colin Bossard, Nick Matthew, Fabian Benito, and Chris Ibarra. It's a pretty good. That's a pretty good lineup on the men's side to be added to that. Andreas Oberg, Ella Wilkinson, Annika Greer, Fee Sagafi, Lexi Neely, Lydia Fish, Linda Kiesman, Trista Smith, Emily Rethwell, Var Thurman Moe, and Oda Lukadvan. That's pretty awesome. So I think that those are pretty good lineups to go into the pro division. What's crazy is that Abby Domet did not make the qualifier for the pro division. She's only in the challenger. And she talked about it on the spin this week that she's not great at online qualifiers. She's better in person. And I think this goes to show it. That's why she went for it at Mayhem and didn't really have a backup plan. It was, I'm going for it at Mayhem and to qualify. And what a tight race for it to be like. I know she had other opportunities if she didn't make it, but for it to be like your one shot mentally and how close that was at the end. Wow, man. Good on her though. Like sometimes you just got to put yourself in that situation and ride and let the cream rise to the top as you get there. So yeah. I'm not sure who else is gaining from this comp experience, men or women. It's good comp for Lydia Fish and Trista to compete in. I think any competition, especially for young athletes, that they can get some experience head to head is really good for them. I think we found that when we came out of COVID and the young athletes at that time never competed on the floor because everything was online during the COVID year. And when they got there, they struggled in person events. And so I think any experience that any athlete can get on the floor head to head is really, really important. And I think what Craig's saying here, and if I'm missing the interpretation, is that you're asking who is gaining more from this competition, the men or the women. I don't think there is a difference in what they're gaining. I think they're both gaining experience. Any head-to-head competition is good for them. I'm excited for Oda and Var. Krieger has been churning athletes, and I'm pumped to see them bring it in. Yeah. Kristen Holta and that crew are just building an empire in Norway. It's going to be. I'm really sad that Mathilde Garness was not able to compete. She's one of my favorite athletes. She's done well with the Krieger system. So yeah, bummed for that. So another thing that's happening tonight is the public judging window for the age group semifinals ends this evening. And at that point, then CrossFit will take the votes that have been given, and they are going to then go back and do a second review. Do a second review of those that need reviewed in their opinion based on the numbers, and then we should have a final age group qualification in about 10 days. It's such a long time to wait for those athletes. They put so much into this, and man, the online thing just is terrible. I was encouraged that Dave said that he loved what Mayhem did in an affiliate, and maybe they could do some of those types of things for the age group semis as well, and find a way for them to qualify in person. I know there's a couple masters type competitions. There's the pit to do for the teens. I think it'd be cool if there was some opportunity for them to qualify in person. We talked about it briefly yesterday about the difference between online and in person, and some people were really good at one and maybe not the other. I know like Jamie would love to compete in person to qualify as opposed to online. So it'd be cool to have that option if you are a better in-person athlete than you are an online athlete. But we'll see. I mean, it would depend on partners being willing to have those events, because I don't think CrossFit themselves would actually invest in holding those events. But yeah, I can't wait for those to be finished and us to get final results on who's actually coming to Columbus at the end of the year. So it'll be good to get those officially out there. Corey says, wild idea, online qualifier of MFC and Legends, and then those two are qualifiers for Masters games. They'd really have to do some mega schedule changing because Legends is in December. They would have to change that dramatically. Legends hosts the games, and so I don't think they'd want to do two really close back-to-back events. I think you'd almost have to find some other partners. So with that, he was talking about it in the way that Mayhem was an affiliate and that they held a competition in an affiliate. So I think he's thinking like smaller ones around the country inside of an affiliate where you can go compete, as opposed to like these big competitions like MFC and Legends. Lynn says the online video thing, I hope, was just a test case. They were trying, but well, the good news is I don't know if anybody saw this, but Jason Grubb actually posted. Hopefully, it's on his. Okay, here we go. He posted this yesterday, I think it was. And he is part of the Athlete Council. He had posted a thing that Corey and I talked about on Wednesday, like a list of things that were wrong with the online judging. And he's posted this update. CrossFit HQ will meet with the CrossFit Athlete Council regarding feedback questions, concerns about the semifinal review process, unfortunately, after the completion of the competition late next week. So hopefully they'll have this meeting and they'll correct things for next year, but it looks like we're stuck with what we have for this year. But at least someone is talking to CrossFit about it, and they are responsive, and they're going to talk to the Athlete Council about it. So I think that's a good thing. Also, they said HQ program the semis and Legends will program the games, right? So it would be HQ organizing the semis. I think it's all up in the air as to who would do what for next year, unless they did the same events at every in-person semifinal. If they did it like they did for the elite and just let the in-person semifinals program however they wanted, and you could choose to go to those or not, I think that's fine too. It's just different ways to get into the party, and I'm okay with all of that. However, whichever way they wanted to go. So yeah, so that happened yesterday. The last thing I want to talk about, just some fun stuff, is I am a great game show junkie. I love game shows. I watch them all the time. It's something my wife and I do together. We watch Jeopardy every night together. I know that makes me sound like I'm really old, but I love game shows. I've loved them since I was a kid. My mom and I would watch them together. And I guess I was just thinking about it with everything going through with my mom, that I've just, I don't know. I just really, really, really enjoy them. And I was thinking about which ones I love the most. And Jay Birch comes in with Wheel of Fortune. I would put that as like a tier 2. I'm not really great at the word puzzle solving. I'm okay, maybe a little better than average, but I'm okay with it. But yeah, I like fast trivia. Like, the games I like are the ones that get the most questions out in the half hour or hour that it's on. So the shows I like are Jeopardy. I like The Chase. I like The Floor, because you're getting just rapid fire questions throughout the episode that it's airing. When my mom used to actually, and I used to play $5,000 pyramid or whatever, however many dollars it is now. One of us would turn our back to the TV, we would mute it, and the other one would give clues, and we would play the game along with it. So I like all those games. The games I don't like are the ones that, like, in an hour you get like 6 questions, like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Like, it just drones on with like really bad questions at first. You finally get to some decent ones, but you only get like a handful in the entire episode. And to me, that's just a big, big waste of time. But I like Price is Right. It moves fast, all of that kind of stuff. And I was just curious if any of you guys were game show junkies like I was, or if I'm one of the few. I actually tried to get on a game show this year for the first time ever. My nephew, my daughter, and I tried out for Pop Culture Jeopardy, which is running on Prime now. The test to get in was so hard. So hard. We kind of knew coming out of the test that we had lost our shot to come on the show. But we gave it a shot. I'd never done it before. It was a fun experience just going through the test. But we didn't make it. And then now I've watched the Pop Culture Jeopardy show, and a lot of the people on there are former Jeopardy contestants. Like, you've had your shot, man. Let some of us in there. So yeah. Jay Birch says, when I was in high school, I was on the challenge team, which was essentially a trivia contest between schools, and we would do it on TV. Yeah, we had those in Pennsylvania too. That was fun. And then Corey says Hollywood Squares. Again, that's one of those where, see, that shows more about the jokes to me, and the celebrities telling the jokes, and the trivia questions. You only get like 10 or 12 for the half hour or whatever it's on. It's fine. I don't dislike it. But it's not like in my upper tier of game shows. And we still have more talk about the online D Reed issue with the online stuff is that there are too many videos to validate. I think that was the premise of this, though, that there were so many for HQ to go through to validate that they put it out there for public consumption, thinking that everybody would be trustworthy and that they would do legit judging to narrow down their focus to just the bad videos. And I don't think that's what they got. I think what they're getting are manipulated numbers based on friendships, based on all the stuff that Grubb talked about in his post the other day, which was this post. Where he talked about there's no way to identify what's been wrong with the video. We can't see who's marking the videos. Some athletes used friends or judges to pre-populate good reviews. There are reports of organized networks downvoting other competitors. Like, these are the things that CrossFit did not expect when they launched this. The whole premise of this was to narrow down their focus because there were so many videos to validate, so many divisions, so many videos, but I don't think that's what they got. I think this is about what Craig asked up here, which was, I'm not sure who else in the men or women brackets would gain from this comp experience, except newer athletes like Trista and Lydia. Again, I think everybody can use experience. And then Lynn answered, a majority of the qualifiers have at least one CrossFit Games experience or pretty close. I think both men and women, WFP is more visibility for sponsorships, etc. Yeah, we'll see about the visibility once they launch. I hope they get more visibility. I want the athletes to have more opportunities. So I hope that is what's there. Family Feud with Richard Dawson. That's the best. Jay Birch, you and I may be the only two that even remember Richard Dawson on Family Feud. Corey says one of his fellow competitors is in the 29th position, and he has a ton of downvotes for no apparent reason other than the fact that he's in 29th. Yeah, that's exactly, Lynn. That's the mess. Lynn says, I'm not a judge, and I've watched a lot of videos with downvotes for no reason. I have been a judge. I've been a judge at very high levels. I have, and again, I think I said this the other day. I just spot checking of videos, and I did not look at any friends' videos. I was trying to eliminate all of my biases and just trying to find what these people were downvoting. And I had a really, really hard time finding anything through my spot checking that was actually legit. Again, it would be very helpful if they had to say why. I think if you say why, it eliminates people just going and clicking on a thumb up or thumb down. So, meanwhile, the guy who got 20th on Isabel clearly did it with 155 pounds. See, if that happened and they did spot that and it was in there, and that makes sense to point that out to HQ to get this guy out of there. He doesn't belong. So yeah. Corey remembers Richard Dawson. Craig Posley likes the dating show and marriage show. Don't remember the Newlywed Game. That's what you're thinking of, Craig. So yeah, that one led to a lot of fights. Usually we had a home version of that I played with my parents before my dad passed away. And, my dad can't remember anything. And my mom was so livid, that they were getting into a fight in our living room, over the stuff. So, and that's what the show turned out to be as well. But But yeah, so I really think that this age group video stuff is a mess, and hopefully they get this cleared up, and that the athlete council can talk to them about what they're doing and maybe get some corrections. Hopefully, along with that, in the same vein, is take away the silly requirement for two judges for these. Um, Take away these judges for the two judges for these in person or in affiliate semis. That's just a big ask for masters athletes who have to work full time. Lynn says deal or no deal. I like Deal or No Deal, but I really like Deal or No Deal Island. I think that has added a mix to the bag that makes it way more exciting. So yeah. Lynn is saying I should have call-ins for Sunday because I'm heated. We have the capability of doing call-ins. I can do that. We've done them in the past with not a lot of response. I think the only people that have ever called into my show are Corey and Kenneth on different shows, but we can open up the phone lines. I have my phone hooked to the Roadcaster. I just have to Bluetooth it in again for Sunday night. And I'm actually going to be bacheloring it up all weekend because my wife's going to Pittsburgh to help my daughter pack. So it's just me and my dog Walter all weekend. So I got plenty of time to hook up some stuff and get that ready. So yeah, I'll put in the phone call option and you can talk directly to Carolyn and Jamie and get their thoughts. I'm trying to transition to just being like a facilitator on Sunday nights. Now there's times where I have to say something, but I'm trying to turn into a facilitator on Sunday nights where this show during the week is my opinion. I let Jamie and Carolyn talk and give their perspective on Sunday nights, and I just try to be a facilitator. Now, again, that's really hard for me because sometimes I just really want to say something, and I do. But that's really where I'm trying to lean toward going forward on those Sunday night shows, is really making it Jamie and Carolyn's show, and I'm just kind of facilitating. I'm just trying to facilitate the news and the topics and all of that. But I would love to hear a heated Lynn on Sunday night. So I will go ahead and hook that up. Lynn says, no, you also give good perspective too, and different, which I don't agree with sometimes, but that's good. What I love about this medium, Lynn, is that, and this is our philosophy, all three of us, is I don't care if you disagree with me. That's fine. I just want to talk about it. And maybe you can convince me otherwise. I think that's fair. I just don't want to be a place where we bash the people that think differently than us, because I think what makes life great is variety, and not everybody should agree. It makes life boring if everybody agreed with everything. It's okay to have differing opinions, and as long as we can talk about it in a civil, adult manner, I'm okay with all of that. God knows, Carolyn and Jamie and I don't always agree on things. We disagree all the time, and that's fine. And they're my best friends, like, but that's cool. Like, and maybe we can understand each other a little better by the end of the day. Wait, are you talking about life before 2020? That's what I'm talking about, Jeremy. If everybody looked the same, we'd get tired of looking each other. That's right. And that's the good thing, because you make us also see another side, which is great. That's all. That's all. That's what discussions are about. That's what podcasts were made for, right? Like, for us to discuss things And maybe we don't come to a resolution at the end of the broadcast, but that's okay too. Maybe it's just about understanding. Um, so Kenneth, on an update, he did not go overweight on his dumpster rental. Do not, if you ever rent a dumpster, do not go overweight. That surprise $700 charge to my bank account was a shocker. So you did good, Kenneth, keeping it underweight, because that is an awful bill to see. And man, good thing my heart was in good condition at that time, because I was not prepared for that to come out of my checking account all at one time. Well, guys, Kenneth made weight. Yeah. He can now wrestle the gooch or the shoot. That's it. He can wrestle the shoot. And only Jay Birch probably understands that reference. So, and maybe Corey. Corey's close to my age. 7-year difference, something like that. But anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to head back to work. It's fun as always. I hope you all have an amazing weekend, and we'll see you live on Sunday night. I'll get the phone lines ready so Lynn can have her riff, and we will do that Sunday night with Carolyn and Jamie. Can't wait to talk to you all. How cool is it that I get to do a show with 2 CrossFit Games athletes every Sunday night? Like, that is really freaking cool. When I started this 5.5 years ago, never in my wildest dreams did I think I'd be doing a show with Carolyn Prevost. And then that I would make a best friend in the Masters division in Jamie Latimer. My gosh. This community is so freaking cool. With that, guys, time for you knuckleheads to get back to work too. I will see you next time on Lunch with the Clydesdale. Bye, guys.